Hello everyone, welcome to C programming language. The main intention of the channel is to help the students to learn C programming language and as well as other programming languages. If you like this video, please share it and subscribe it. In this video, we are going to discuss about character, keyword, variable and data types. Let's come to the character. Character represent either a alphabet or digit or any special characters. So how many alphabets we have? We have 26 alphabets are there which are from A to Z. What about the digits? How many digits we have? We have 10 digits which are from 0 to 9. And special characters. What are the special characters? Plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulation, dollar symbol, hash, at the rate, etc. are the special character. So if you take either a single alphabet or a digit or a special character is called as character. Character is used to represent the information. So when we have to use this character, for example, if I want to store my initial is G. So at that time, we can say that G is a character. For example, I want to store the first letter from my name. My name is Praveen. Okay. So the first letter P is called as character. Then what we have to call some group of characters. So group of characters is called as a string. Group of character is called as a string. Let's see what is keyword. In this real world, each and everything is an object. For example, if we take pen, marker, fan, AC, etc. All these are the objects. Each and every object contains a unique name, isn't it or not? Okay, right. Now assume that I invented one new object in this real world which doesn't know to anyone, For that object, can I give a name called as pen? No. Why? Because already one object is existing with the name pen. So we have to give the another name to it. So can I give a name called as ABC to the newly invented object? Yes. Why? Because there is no object is existing with the name ABC. So here also same thing. Keywords are the words which have some predefined meaning. That meaning was given by Dennis Ritchie and that meaning was explained to the C compiler. So keywords are the words which have some predefined meaning. That meaning as already explained to the C compiler. In C, we have 32 keywords are there. 32 keywords. So let me type those 32 keywords. First one, let me write the keywords from alphabet order. First one is auto. 32 keywords are auto, break, case, char, const. So let me write 5 so that it's very easy to count it. Continue, default, do, double, else, enum, extend, and float, and for, go to, if, int, long, near, register, return, short, signed, static, struct, and switch, static, switch, type def, union, unsigned, void, and while. Struct, this is struct where we can write switch, struct. So now we can count it, how many are there. So as I say that there are 32 keywords are there, 1 2 3 4 5 10 15 20 25 30 32 keywords are there. Next, let's see what is mean by variable. What is mean by variable? Observe here. So in a system, there will be two types of memories will be there. The first one is RAM and the second one is ROM. RAM stands for random access memory. ROM stands for read-only memory. Let's assume that in my system, I have 1 GB of RAM is there. This is RAM. This is 1 GB RAM. Initially assume that the entire RAM is free. Entire RAM is free. While writing the program, assume that I used a statement called as n is equals to 4. N is equals to 4. Here n is called as variable and this is called as assignment operator, and this is 4 is a value which we are assigning to a n variable, and this statement should be terminated with the semicolon. So whenever the controller execute this statement, at that time, what happens? The controller will pick up any one of a memory location. That means the controller will pick up any one of a free memory location. Now I am assuming that it has picked this memory location. For this memory location, what is the name it is giving? It is giving a name called as n. And how much value we are storing? We are storing a value called as 4. And on the previous session, we discussed about the types of programming languages. There, I explained very clearly that how the values will be stored. As I said that the computer understands only one language called as binary level language or machine level language or low level language. So how this 4 will be stored inside the memory location. Again, this 4 will be converted. To the binary value. How I divide this 4 with the 2. 2 2s are 4. The remainder will be 0. Again, divide this 2 with 2. 2 1s are 2 and 0. So the binary representation of this 4 is 1 0 0. Okay. Here instead of this 4, which value will be stored? 1 0 0. Okay. Right. Now, while writing the program, next after writing the statement n equal to 4, I want to write it as n equals to 7. N equal to 7. So at that time, what happens? It will override the value. Called as 4. Already n variable is presented in the RAM. So it won't occupy any memory location. Already some memory location was occupied by the n variable. So this value will be overridden with 7. Now let's come to the definition of variable. Variable is a name given to a memory location where a value to be stored. And this value can be changed during the program execution. So why they have given a name called as variable? Why? Because it can be divided into the two words called as vary plus able. What is meant by vary? Vary means change, which can be changeable. Change plus able. That means the value of the variable, the value of this can be changeable. That's why they have given a name called as variable. Let me show you the syntax. Syntax to declare variables. Syntax to declare the variables. That is data type. After a few minutes, we will discuss what is meant by data type. Data type followed by variable. For example, variable 1 and variable 2. In this way, we can declare any number of variables. But remember, this statement should be terminated with the semicolon. We can declare the multiple variables at the same time. At that time, we have to use the comma operator to separate those variables. Let's see what are the rules and regulations to create the variable names. Rules to create the variable names. The first one. Variable name can consist of alphabets, digits, and it will accept only two special characters called as underscore and dollar. A variable name can consisting of alphabets, digits, and it will accept only two special characters called as underscore and dollar. The second one. Variable name can start with either a alphabet or underscore or dollar. It should not start with variable name. It should not start with digit. It should not start with digit. The third one. Keywords cannot be used as variable names. Why? Because already some meaning was given to the keywords by the Dennis Ritchie. So keywords cannot be used as variable names. Variable names. So this is regarding the variable. Let's move to the next one. Let's talk about the data types. So first we will discuss what are the different data types we have. Later we will discuss the definition of data type. Data types are divided into three types. The first one is primitive data type. The second one is derived data type. And the third one is user-defined data type. Let's come to the first one, that is primitive data type. The primitive data types are char, int, float, double, long, long int, void. Derived data types: array, pointer, function. Let's come to the user-defined data type. Structure, union, and enum. Let's discuss about this primitive data type. The first one is char. Char is a data type which is used to store either an alphabet, a digit, or any special character. So the rule on the char data type is always the char value should be enclosed within the single quote. Okay, let me give one example. Char ch is equals to I want to store a. Here this char is a data type. This ch is called as variable. This is an assignment operator, and this is a value, char value. Char value should be enclosed within the single quote. So how this a will be stored inside the memory location? Let's come to this memory location, and this Char is a data type which requires 1 byte of memory in the RAM, which requires 1 byte. 1 byte equals to 8 bits. Okay, when the controller execute this statement, at that time it will go to the memory location. It will go to the memory location. It will pick up any one of this memory location. For this memory location, it will give a name called as ch. It will give a name called as ch. Why? Because what is the variable name we are using? Char ch equals to a. Excuse me. And what is the value we are storing? A. Okay, so how much is the ASCII value of a? ASCII value of small a is 97. Again, this 97 will be converted to binary value. That binary value will be stored inside the ch. Can you guess how much is the memory space of this box? The memory space of this box is 1 byte. This is 1 byte. 1 byte equals to 8 bits. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. Let's come to the next data type called as int. This data type is used to store the integer. For example, if I want to store the number of students presented in my classroom, the number of students that are presented in a particular college, at that time we will be using the int data type. Let me give one example. Int number of students, int underscore number of students is equals to 59. So when we have to use this underscore, so if a variable name consisting of multiple words, if the variable name consisting of multiple words, at that time we use a underscore to combine the words. So number of words is a variable name, int is a data type, and how much value we are assigning to the number of students, that is 59. Next one is float. Float and double are called as floating point data types, which are used to store the floating point numbers. Okay, so when we have to use it, for example, if I want to store the pi value, how much is the pi value? Pi equal to 3.147, which consisting of point. In that cases, we will be using the float or double data types. Let me give one example. That is, float pi is equals to 3.147. And to store the weight of a person, then also we can use the float. So here one more point I forgot to tell one form. Int requires 2 bytes of memory. Excuse me. Int requires 2 bytes of memory. So if it is 32-bit processor, if we are using the 32-bit processor, it uses the 2 bytes. Or if it uses the 62-bit processor, then it requires the 4 bytes of memory. So here I am assuming that we are using the 32-bit processor. Next, if it is a float requires the 4 bytes of memory. Float requires 4 bytes of memory. Let's come to the double. Double also used to store the floating point numbers. Then what is the difference between the float and double? Float requires the 4 bytes of memory, but whereas double requires the 8 bytes of memory. And this float is used to store the single precision values. It is used to store the single precision value. But whereas double is used to store the double precision values. So what is meant by single precision value? After point we can store maximum 7 digits. But whereas in double, after point we can store the 15 digits. Next, what is a data type which is used for return type of the functions? It is used for return type of the functions. Regarding this, we will be discussing later. Let me show you the data types, and its sizes image. So the first one is a char data type. This is a size in the bits. Char requires 1 byte of memory which is equivalent to 8. So how much is the minimum range? The minimum range is minus 128 and the maximum is 127. So minimum value is minus 128 and the maximum value is 127. And one more thing, here each and every data type is divided into two types called as signed and unsigned. Here also same thing, char data type is divided into unsigned char and signed char, unsigned char and signed char. Right. What is meant by unsigned char? The name itself indicating unsigned. Sign is not there. When the sign is not there, it will be considered as positive. It will be considered as positive. That's why if you observe this range, the range is starting from positive value, that is 0 to 255. Now there is no difference between char and signed char. You can observe here the size of the bits, the size of the memory is same, and this range is also same. Let's come to the int. Again, this int is divided into two types, that is signed int and unsigned int. So int requires 2 bytes of memory which is equivalent to 16 bits. The range of the int is minus 327682 to 32767. The int range is same as signed int, but whereas unsigned int range is 0 to 65,535. Again, this int can be divided into long int and long int. Okay, so if you take this long int, the size is 32 bits and the range is minus 2 147 483 648 to 147 483 647. Again, this long int is divided into signed long int and unsigned long int. So the remaining data types are float and double. Float requires 32 bit and double requires 64 bit, and these are the ranges of the float and double. So if it is long double, it requires 80 bits of the memory, and this is the range of the long data type. Now let's discuss about the next one called as format specifiers. Format specifier. Let's come to the char. So these format specifiers are used to inform which type of variable value we are displaying, whether we are displaying the char value or integer value, float value or double value, long int value or long value. For example, if I want to display the char value, we have to use modulation C. In the coming example, I will show you very clearly. If it is integer, we have to use modulation D. D stands for decimal. Or we can use modulation I. I stands for the integer. To display the float values, we have to use modulation F. For double, we have to use modulation LF. If it is long int, we have to use modulation LD, that is long decimal. If it is long data type, we have to use modulation LLD, long decimal. If it is long double, we have to use modulation capital LF. Modulation capital LF, we have to use it. See here, for double we use it modulation small LF, but whereas long double we have to use modulation capital LF. And for the unsigned int, we have to use modulation U. And for the signed int, we have to use modulation. Sorry, unsigned int, we have to use modulation U. For Unsigned long int. Let me show you unsigned long int. Unsigned long int, we have to use modulation. Excuse me, modulation n. Let me show you few examples on this format specifier so that we can understand more clearly. Okay, so we have so many editors are there to execute the C programs. Here we are using the dev C++. You can use either the turbo C, code blocks, or online compilers. Let me open the new file, click on the file and new. Dev CPP is a freeware we can download from the internet. Select the source file. Let me type the program. Hash include less than stdio.h. The first statement of a C program should be this thing. Hash, this is called as hash include less than stdio.h, which stands for standard, std standard, I stands for input, O stands for output, H stands for header file. So the detailed explanation of this entire statement we will be discussing in the later session. Next, we have to write the main function, int main, opening of parenthesis and closing of parenthesis. So this is called as, main is called as a function name, and this int is called as return type. This is the opening and closing of parenthesis. What does this curly brace indicate that? It indicates that the main function has started. It indicates that main function has started. So let me write a simple program which will display welcome to C programming. Printf. Printf is a function. Printf is a function which is used to display something on the console. So what is the message I want to display it? Welcome to C programming language. And this statement should be terminated with semicolon. Terminated with semicolon. So at the end of the main function, write a statement called as return of 0. Why? Because here the return type of function, we are using it as an integer, so it has to return some integer value. So let me save this program. Alt F, save. So let me save. I'm saving on videos, day 4, under this programs. The extension of the C program is .c. Okay. So by default, the dev C++ will take the extension as .cpp. Please don't forget to change this extension from .cpp to C. Okay. So let me say welcome.c. So here we can see this, the name of a file welcome.c. Okay. I saved this program and this is the button to compile it. Or instead of that, we can use the F9, function 9 also. It's compiled successfully. Let me run the program. The next icon represents the run. Instead of this icon, we can use the F10 function, run. So it is giving the output as welcome to C programming language. Right. Now, let me modify the same thing. Let me modify the same program. I remove this thing. Let me say char. I want to store the first letter of my name. My name is Praveen. First letter is P. Okay. I want to, what is my name? My name is, let me do the rough work here. That is, my name is Praveen. But I want to store the only first letter, that is P. To store the only one letter, which data type we have to use? We have to use a char data type. So what is the syntax to declare the variable name? Data type followed with the variable name. So always it would be better to give the meaningful and the proper variable names. Okay, let me give a name called as first name. Okay, let me give a name called as first underscore name. First letter, otherwise first letter. What is the first letter? The first letter of my name is P. Excuse me. And we know that char should be enclosed within the single quote. Now what I want to do is, I want to display this first letter on the console. So let me use printf. Printf. So this first letter is a variable of which data type? Char data type. So which format specifier we have to use it? We have to use the modulation C. So let me use modulation C, comma. And what is the variable name? The variable name is first underscore letter. First underscore letter. Save this program, compile it. There are no compilation error. If you have any compilation errors, it will show the compilation error. I will show you that one also. See here, it is displaying the first letter of my name, that is P. Assume that by mistake I forgot to give the semicolon. Okay, let me save this program and compile it. See here, at the line number 5, let's come to here. It is showing some compilation error. What is that compilation error? Expected, you can observe here, except expected comma or semicolon before the print. So what it is expecting? So before the printf statement, it is expecting the semicolon. So if you read this compilation errors very clearly, we will get some idea how can we resolve this compilation error. Let me keep the semicolon, save it, compile and run it. So it is showing P. Next, let me modify this program little bit. I want to store number of students in my classroom. So number of students is an integer value. Maybe it is a 30 or 60 or 120. So which data type we have to use it? Can you guess? Yes, exactly correct. We have to use the int data type. Int number of students. Number of underscore students is equals to 60. And I want to print this number of students. So let me use a printf function to display it. Now, which type of variable value we are displaying in the console? Integer. So which type of format specifier we have to use it? We have to use either modulation D or modulation I. You can use it. Modulation I or modulation D. You can use it. Okay. Let's come here. Let me use modulation D, comma number underscore of student. Save it, compile it. Sorry, spelling mistake here. Students, number of students. So compile successfully. There are no compilation errors. So let me run it. So it is displaying 60. In the same way, you can check it for float and double data types. Now let me show you few of the ASCII values. See here, this value represents the integer and these are the character value. So the ASCII value of 1 is which one? That is a smiley face with the white background. What is the character of this value 2? That also smiley face with the background black color. The char value, that is character of this 3 is, that is a love symbol. So these are the different symbols. Okay, these are the different symbols of the values from 0 to 65. Now, what I want to do is, I want to write a C program to display the smiley face. Okay, let me write the comment of this program. WAP stands for write a program to print smiley face. So here, let me take n equal to, what is a, let me show you this thing. ASCII table, smiley face integer value is 1. So let me take int n equals to 1. First I want to display the integer. Let me specify the format specifier, that is modulation D. First I want to display the integer value followed by hyphen. Next I want to display the char value. So n comma n. See here, how many variables we are going to display here? 2 variables. Okay, I'm going to display the only one variable, but using the different format specifier. So first one, I want to display the integer value of n. Next I want to display the char value of n. Okay, so that's why I use it comma n. Save it, compile it and run it. See here, the character value of integer 1 is smiley face with the background, that thing. Okay, now in the same way, let me use what x equals to 2. x equals to 2, and let me use this slash n stands for the new line. It will bring the cursor to the new line. Okay, I will explain it after a few minutes. Let me copy it, paste it here. So x equal to 2, here x equals to 2. Let me display this x value in integer and char format x. Okay, save it, compile it, and run it. Okay, so one smiley face and two smiley face. So the background of this first smiley face is black and the background of second smiley face is 1. But if you observe here, 1 is displayed in the same line, and second integer value and its character also displayed in the same value. But what I want to do is this second integer value and its char value I want to display in the next line. So we have to use a null escape character called a slash n. Okay, now what happens after displaying the 1 and its associated ASCII value, it will bring the cursor to the next line. So the output of this printf statement should be displayed in the next line. Save it, compile it, and run it. See here, 1 and its char value, 2 and its char value. So if you like this video, share it and subscribe it. Thank you very much.